Hi, I'm Patricia Pena on Native Ground, and I am so fortunate to be here with one of my favorite stars. His name is Valente Rodriguez from George Lopez Show. He has so many other credits behind his name, and I'm going to let him tell you about that. Okay, so Valente, thank you so much for being with us on Native Ground, and
you're welcome.
Away.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about dedication and commitment to what it is that you feel strong about. I was born a migrant farm worker, youngest of 8, first one to graduate from high school, let alone go on to college and graduate college. And as a young person, my favorite show on television was Gilligan's Island. But the very first time I ever saw myself on screen was in a movie called Zoot Suit. And before that, I'd see the TV, and the young man would come down and say, "Hey, Mom, I want some breakfast." And the mom would go, "Well, here's some cereal and here's some pancakes." But in this film, the young man comes down and says, "Hey, Mom, I want some breakfast." And the mom says, "Here, take a taco." And I was like, oh my God, that's what I do. That's what I do. There are communities in this country, there are houses in this country that are struggling, very struggling, because we're in a tough time right now. They're struggling to pay their bills. They might not have a car, but they have 3 or 4 televisions on in their house. And because the parents have to work, the young kids are left watching television all day long. Television, film, that sort of stuff. And the images that they're seeing on television that represents themselves, the brown people, they're either prostitutes or gang members or farm workers or stuff like that. We need to realize that when we don't see ourselves validated on the screen, the message that we're sending to our children is, that's not for you. You can't do that. That's not your life. The thing about growing up in, struggling to grow up in a place where you might have a small amount of money or some other kind of difficulty is, it teaches you how to be a very hard worker, and how to be very intuitive, and how to be ingenious almost about the things that you need to do to survive that day. So it teaches you to be very, very strong. And if you get anything from the things that I'm telling you right now, I want you to know that me, young migrant kid from South Texas, from the middle of nowhere, with no education, with no books at home, with parents who went to the 2nd and 3rd grade, had a dream, dedicated himself to this dream, believed in himself, and have now come out to Los Angeles and have been on the George Lopez Show, and I'm on the Happily Divorced, the new Fran Drescher show right now, as a matter of fact. Last year I did 4 films, 4 independent films. So it can be done. It's extremely difficult, but life is extremely difficult. If you have a feeling inside you, you have a passion inside you, you have a calling for something, you can do it. You can do it. Look at me. I did it. And I come from a place that was very, very hard to get to this place. Even today, I have to pinch myself and say to myself, oh my God, I'm acting with Fran Drescher. I'm acting with George Lopez. There's millions of people that are watching me every single night. That's completely beyond what I ever thought I was going to do. At first, my thinking was, just let me pay bills at being an actor. Just let me pay bills and I'll be happy with that. The great thing about dedicating yourself something that you feel passionate about is at the end of the day, regardless of your success, you're going to feel good about yourself, because you've dedicated yourself to something and you've opened your heart up to something. As artists, as creators, it's not our job to criticize. It's our job to offer whatever it is that we created to the world. And we'll offer it up to the world as innocent as we can and say, here it is. Here's my heart. Here's my soul. However you choose to judge that, that's your opinion. But I'm going to have the strength and the courage to look inside myself and tear myself apart inside and have these feelings, these words, these images put out so that I can express myself to the rest of the world and say, look, this is who I am. This is where I belong. This is what I think I am. And it's only through that we're going to be able to understand each other and be able to get along with each other a little better. Hi, I'm Valente Rodriguez, and I'm on Native Ground.